Across America, a shadow hangs over countless communities. It is the shadow of fear, cast by the presence of undocumented immigrants living among us. While many claim to be hardworking individuals simply seeking a better life, the reality is far more complex. The truth is that their very presence undermines our nation's sovereignty and poses a direct threat to our security. From bustling cities to quiet suburbs, the fear of ICE raids is palpable. Hardworking Americans, law-abiding citizens, are increasingly concerned for their safety and the future of their communities. This fear is not unfounded. It stems from the very real dangers posed by unchecked illegal immigration. We have seen the tragic consequences of open borders time and again, from increased crime rates to strained social services. The presence of undocumented immigrants also creates an environment ripe for exploitation. Employers willing to flout labor laws often take advantage of their vulnerable status, paying them substandard wages and subjecting them to unsafe working conditions. This undercuts American workers and depresses wages for everyone. It is time to face the facts. The presence of undocumented immigrants in our communities is a crisis, and it demands a swift and decisive response. The advocates for open borders and sanctuary cities often paint a picture of compassion, claiming to act in the best interest of undocumented immigrants. They argue that these individuals are simply seeking a better life and deserve our understanding and support. However, their rhetoric ignores the very real human cost of their policies. The fear and uncertainty that permeate immigrant communities are undeniable. Children go to bed each night terrified that their parents might not be there in the morning. Families live in a constant state of anxiety, never knowing when their lives might be upended by a knock on the door. This is not compassion, it is cruelty. The mental and emotional toll on these families is immeasurable. Children often struggle in school, haunted by the fear of separation. Parents, desperate to provide for their families, are forced to live in the shadows, constantly looking over their shoulders. This constant state of fear and anxiety takes a heavy toll, leading to increased rates of depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. The open border advocates would have you believe that they are acting out of compassion, but their policies have created a humanitarian crisis. Their misguided attempts to protect undocumented immigrants have only served to make their lives more difficult and precarious. The negative impact of undocumented immigration extends far beyond the individuals and families directly affected. Entire communities feel the ripple effects as fear and uncertainty seep into the fabric of daily life. In towns and cities across America, businesses are struggling to survive. The once bustling streets now stand eerily empty, as residents, both documented and undocumented, are afraid to leave their homes. The fear of ICE raids has cast a pall over these communities, discouraging residents from patronizing local businesses and participating in civic life. The economic consequences are devastating. Restaurants and shops, once vibrant hubs of community life, now struggle to keep their doors open. The loss of revenue not only impacts business owners but also leads to job losses, further exacerbating the economic hardship faced by these communities. The decline in economic activity also has a ripple effect on local governments. As tax revenues dwindle, cities and towns are forced to make difficult decisions, often cutting essential services such as education and public safety. This creates a vicious cycle, further eroding the quality of life in these communities. Section 4. The Shadow of Sanctuary. The debate over sanctuary cities is framed as a battle between compassion and the rule of law. Sanctuary cities create safe havens for those who have broken our nation's immigration laws. They undermine the rule of law and send a dangerous message. This creates a two-tiered system of justice. Sanctuary city policies place an undue burden on law-abiding citizens. These policies divert resources from essential services. Section 5. Chicago, a city at odds. The city of Chicago stands as a stark example of the dangers of sanctuary city policies. Once a beacon of hope and opportunity, Chicago has become a cautionary tale of what happens when ideology trumps common sense. The city's sanctuary policies have emboldened criminal aliens, leading to a surge in violent crime and a breakdown in the social fabric. Chicago's murder rate has soared in recent years, earning it the dubious distinction of being one of the most dangerous cities in America. The city's refusal to cooperate with ICE has created a safe haven for gang members and violent criminals who operate with impunity, terrorizing law-abiding citizens. The human cost of Chicago's sanctuary policies is immeasurable. Families live in fear, too afraid to let their children play outside. Businesses are closing their doors, unable to survive in the climate of fear and uncertainty. The city's once vibrant neighborhoods are now plagued by violence and despair. Chicago's story is a sobering reminder of the consequences of misguided compassion. The city's leaders, blinded by ideology, have turned a blind eye to the suffering of their own citizens. Their policies have not created a more just or compassionate city. They have created a city where fear and violence reign. Section 6. Enforcing the law, protecting our nation. The issue of illegal immigration is not about hate or intolerance. It is about upholding the rule of law and protecting the sovereignty of our nation. Our immigration system, while imperfect, is designed to ensure that those who come to our shores do so legally and contribute to the well-being of our nation. Enforcing our immigration laws is not about punishing those seeking a better life. It is about maintaining order, protecting our citizens, and preserving the integrity of our nation. When individuals or families cross our borders illegally or overstay their visas, they are breaking the law. Ignoring these violations undermines the rule of law and sends a dangerous message that some are above the law. Furthermore, failing to enforce our immigration laws poses a direct threat to our national security. Porous borders and lax enforcement create vulnerabilities that can be exploited by criminals, terrorists, and those who wish to do us harm. Protecting our nation from those who seek to harm us is the first and most solemn duty of any government. The time for half measures and political posturing is over. We need strong, decisive action to secure our borders, enforce our immigration laws, and protect our nation from the very real threats we face. Section 7. Stand with us, secure our borders. The future of our nation hangs in the balance. The crisis at our border is not simply a matter of policy, it is a matter of national survival. The time has come for all Americans to stand together and demand action. We must demand that our elected officials uphold their oaths of office and enforce the law. We must reject the dangerous rhetoric of open borders and sanctuary cities and embrace common-sense solutions that prioritize the safety and well-being of American citizens. This is not a partisan issue, it is an American issue. It is time to put aside our differences and unite behind a common goal: securing our borders, upholding the rule of law, and preserving the American way of life for generations to come. Contact your elected officials today and demand that they take action to secure our borders and enforce our immigration laws. The future of our nation depends on it.